In North Carolina's Research Triangle, voters are already casting their ballots in the primaries ahead of the midterms.
And the North Carolina State Board of Elections says that as of Wednesday, more than 360,000 people have already voted early. Saturday's the final day for early voting ahead of Election Day on Tuesday. So joining us now, Stephen Valentine, one of the Democratic candidates running for North Carolina's District 4. So, Stephen, thanks for being with us. This is a more liberal district. It's home to North Carolina Chapel Hill and Duke University. My in-laws used to live there, actually, as well as it's got a large black American population. So, given that, what issues are you hearing from voters? What do they care about?
So, oddly enough, the electorate this election cycle are talking about our democracy and our institutions literally being under attack, which is one of the reasons why I jumped into this race. Also, a lot of people in this district are talking about the right to vote and how the far right is making it more difficult for minorities and other people of color to actually get involved in our elections. And also here recently, the attack on abortions has been forefront out there on the campaign trail. And voters are also talking about environmental issues and how the environment has been under attack for a long time. And they're looking for someone to go to Congress and to do something about it, quite frankly. And lastly, they're talking about Social Security. And so they understand, just as I do, that Social Security is literally on life support and no one's paying attention to this issue. I think that Social Security has been the most successful social program in the history of our country. And I can't imagine an America without Social Security, and a lot of voters are concerned about that.
And Stephen, this is the first time in 3 decades that this seat has actually been up for grabs. Why are you the right candidate to take over?
Well, I tell you, so after January 6th in 2021, I was all in. I couldn't imagine me not getting involved in this race. I think what distinguishes me from, quite frankly, everyone in this race on both sides of the aisle is I'm the only veteran running in this race. I have 2 combat tours, one of which I was awarded the Bronze Star Medal in Iraq. And so I have national security experience. I also have foreign policy experience. I worked at the State Department during the first Obama administration as a foreign affairs officer. And also, I am the only candidate in this race, quite frankly, has had any real estate in the Congress. I served as a staffer for the late Congressman Donald Payne. And so I'm ready to lead. And so I've also been the only candidate in this race to actually work with people on the grassroots. And so when I was a younger man, I was a social worker. And so I dealt with individual problems, family problems, also problems in the community. And so I know how to solve problems. And I'm also the only attorney in this race. And so I have some experiences with the law. I'm a former prosecutor, special assistant United States attorney in the District of Columbia, and also a former Army lawyer. And so I'm ready to serve the district down here in the 4th Congressional District. And that's what distinguishes me from other candidates in this race.
You know, Stephen, that is quite a breadth of experience there. And I want to ask you about the experience of one of your opponents, Clay Aiken. You know, he came in second on the second season of American Idol. He had a platinum album. He's name recognition meaning so much in politics. How do you deal with that? What do you hear from voters about it?
Well, actually, I consider Clay a friend. In fact, every candidate on the Democratic side of the ticket I've got to know very well during the course of this competition. But quite frankly, the voters aren't talking very much about Clay Aiken. So with respect to name recognition, I mean, I was just talking to one of my hopefully constituents just the other day, and they had mentioned, are you in the same race as Clay Aiken? I said, yes, absolutely. He's a very nice guy. And I hope that you'll consider his ideas as well as mine in this election. But there wasn't very much interest from the people that I've been talking to.
Can you sing, Stephen?
Oh, he absolutely can sing.
Okay, give us a little something.
Oh, so you said, can I sing?
Yes.
Oh, so what would you like to hear? What's your, what type of music?
Okay, I'm not going to put you on the spot. Let's think about that for a minute.
Because actually, I can sing.
Okay, dealer's choice. All right, what do you sing? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, then we're going to get Clay Aiken to come on, and we're going to have a little bit of a sing-off, all right? Political sing-off.
Okay.
All right, what you got, Stephen?
All right, so Let's see. What do I want to sing? So, I don't know. You have to tell me what type of music you like. I don't just want to jump
Stevie
into
Wonder. It's Stevie Wonder's birthday. So how about a little Stevie Wonder? Maybe even happy birthday. Just his happy birthday.
Okay, good. Thank you, Terry. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Ooh.
There you go,
And
Clay.
that's for Stevie.
Okay,
And that's for Stevie.
it's for Stevie and for Clay. I love it.
Yes.
And Stephen Valentine, we really appreciate you coming on and giving that rendition of Happy Birthday, Stevie Wonder.
Oh, we should have done My Funny Valentine. That would have been even
one as
better.
well.
Oh,
and
now
we wish you luck. We thank you. One of the Democratic candidates running for North Carolina's District 4, Stephen Valentine. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you so much.
He's a trooper.
He really is. Truly a trooper there. I'm not sure I would have been up for that. Don't ever ask me to sing. So now to the Republican race for that North Carolina 4th Congressional District, the so-called Research Triangle there.
Joining us now, Courtney Geels, one of the Republican candidates in the primary race. Don't worry, Courtney, we're not going to ask you to sing, but then again, we must be fair and balanced here. So by all means...
The spirit moves you.
Exactly. I see the cross behind you. We could have a little worship going on here in about 2 seconds. Okay, so that's a big no. All right, let's talk about how you plan to flip this long-time blue district. I mean, 30-plus years, for Democrats.
Yeah, I like to remind people that in 1994, David Price did lose to a Republican, so it is doable. Definitely not statistically likely, but I'm going to do my best. But, I really like to listen to, both sides of the aisle, but even just talking to generally what I would call conservative people, there are Democrats who would call themselves conservatives. And in the South, faith and Christianity is really big. And so I'll talk to a lot of people that I think were much more like-minded, but, I'm registered a Republican. Someone else might be registered an independent or Democrat. And I've had a number of people at the polls coming up to me saying, hey, I'd really like to go change my registration so I can vote for you. But oddly enough, you can't change your registration. You can just start your registration if you're not registered to vote. But I do think that there's movement. I think that this area has traditionally been Democrat even years and years ago. There's a lot of people who are registered Democrat that, like I said, would say that they're more conservative, but they've always wanted to vote in primaries, or they felt like they weren't going to be heard at the county level if they weren't registered as a Democrat. So a lot of people look at the statistics and they tell me I'm crazy. But I know the area. I grew up in Hillsborough, which is Orange County, which is the same county as UNC Chapel Hill. And I now live in Durham. So I'm excited to try.
Well, we are excited to have you. And I want to ask you, you're a registered nurse, I understand. And one of the big issues that's divided this country, really, has been COVID. And it's a shame. We just passed that terrible milestone. 1 million Americans have died from COVID, in part because of our divisions, it seems to me. And I wonder, from your perspective, how hard hit has this congressional district been from COVID? And second, what do you say about those divisions? Do you have an understanding of how we might come together on public health issues like that?
Yeah, I really appreciate even the way you asked the question, because I've built my platform on just the words and the ideas of truth, justice, and unity in America. And really, I tie truth to unity very, very often. And I think specifically with COVID and my nursing background, that's just something that I can really see the argument that, there's so many arguments around COVID among so many just related subjects to it. But we hear, one side that, pushes the vaccine and says we need to get past this. And then another side that says they're worried about side effects from the vaccine. And then I hear medical professionals talking about how they're burnt out and how they just want an end to this pandemic. And I see the brokenness in our society. I see the pain that a lot of people have lived in and outside of the hospital. And as a nurse, I see solutions. I think one solution that I really haven't seen done, and I think that it's something that the federal government could help with, is N95 fit testing. And I don't mean mandating, because I am a Republican. I do like to decrease the power of the federal government and increase the power of the people. But I think giving the opportunity for people to be fit tested for a medical grade N95 mask can actually help prevent people from getting COVID without having to force vaccinate people. So I have a lot of conversations with people, and ultimately when we talk about division, I really think that the censorship related to COVID has been detrimental to the divisions in our country, because there are doctors who have wanted to speak out and say other kind of treatments that they would recommend. But unfortunately, Medicaid and Medicare run the show. People think that we're, governmental health care isn't a thing, but really it is. And hospitals just do whatever Medicaid and Medicare say. They go with whatever protocols are put out. And I really think we need to give doctors the power to assess their patients and prescribe what they feel is necessary for their patients between them and their patient, and giving that power back to those medical professionals to be able to make those educated decisions and really allow the people to have a voice again. I think the censorship is one of my #1 things that we can't continue in this country as Americans. To have a free country, we need to have free speech.
Courtney, I want to make sure I ask you this before we wrap, and that's the leaked Supreme Court decision on Roe versus Wade. Clearly a big deal here. How do you think that'll impact your primary and elections come November?
I do think it's a huge deal. Definitely my Democrat opponents are talking about it a lot. It's a subject that's been very dear to me, even from teenage years. I am pro-life all the way, but I think that what a common misconception is with Roe v. Wade is that people are just not going to be able to have abortions anymore. But really what it is doing is just giving power back to the states, which I am a huge fan of. I think states need to run as many things as humanly possible, because the federal government just can't know the people as well as community leaders, county level and state level even. So I think giving power back to the states is what should be done constitutionally. Courtney
Geels, one of the Republican candidates for North Carolina's District 4. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks for
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.